The grand hall of the Blackwood Pack had never been this full. Hundreds of wolves filled the massive room. Tonight was supposed to be unforgettable. A night of celebration. A night of destiny. A night where Aria Nightshade would finally become Luna of the Blackwood Pack. But destiny had something far crueler planned. Because before the night ended, her mate would reject her. Her best friend would betray her. And the most feared Alpha King alive would claim her as his. Arya stood in the center of the grand ceremonial hall. She wore a breathtaking silver dress that shimmered under the moonlight pouring through the high windows. Her hands trembled. Her breathing was uneven. Tonight changed everything. After 3 years by Damien's side, tonight he would finally claim her publicly as his Luna. She scanned the hall. The pack members smiled. Music played softly. Candles flickered. Everything looked perfect. But Arya felt uneasy. Her wolf stirred restlessly. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then, the giant doors opened. Silence fell instantly. Alpha Damien Blackwood entered. Tall, handsome, powerful, commanding. Every wolf bowed in respect. Aria's heart raced. She smiled nervously. Damien walked toward her. His footsteps echoed heavily. 1, 2, 3. He stopped in front of her. Arya looked up at him. Her smile softened. Damien. But he said nothing. His face was unreadable. Cold. Emotionless. Aria's stomach tightened. Why was he looking at her like that? The room became painfully quiet. Damien stared at Arya. Then suddenly, he laughed. A cruel laugh. Arya froze. Her smile disappeared. Confusion filled her face. Damien? His cold eyes locked onto hers. Then his voice sliced through the silence. Did you really think I would make you my Luna? Gasps filled the hall. Aria's heart stopped. What? Her lips trembled. She could barely speak. I don't understand. Damien smirked. The expression on his face was cruel. Merciless. He stepped closer. You are weak. Another step. You are beneath me. Another step. You are unworthy of standing beside an alpha. Every word felt like a knife. Aria's eyes filled with tears. The pack watched. Nobody spoke. Nobody helped. Damien lifted her chin forcefully. His grip was painful. You were never worthy of me. Aria's breathing broke. Tears slipped down her cheeks. Damien, please. Then he delivered the final blow. His voice thundered through the hall. I, Alpha Damien Blackwood. Pause. Reject Aria Nightshade as my mate. Silence. Then pain exploded. Arya screamed. Agony ripped through her soul. It felt like something inside her was being violently torn apart. She collapsed to the ground. Her body shook uncontrollably. Her wolf cried in pain. The mate bond had shattered. And so had Arya. As Arya struggled to breathe on the floor, a familiar voice spoke. Soft. Mocking. Oh, Arya. Her blood turned cold. No. Slowly, Arya lifted her head and froze. Scarlet Thorn stepped forward, wearing a Luna ceremonial dress. Beautiful, elegant, cruel. Aria's eyes widened in horror. No. No. Scarlet smiled. A wicked smile. The kind Arya had never seen before. Or maybe, never noticed. Scarlet moved beside Damien. Damien wrapped an arm around her waist. Aria's world shattered. Her best friend. The person she trusted most. The person who comforted her. The person who promised loyalty. Betrayed her. Scarlet bent slightly toward Arya. Her voice dropped to a whisper. He never loved you. Aria's tears flowed harder. Scarlet smirked. He chose me. The crowd erupted into whispers. Arya felt completely broken. Damien looked at her like she was nothing. Like she had never mattered. Then he gave the order. Throw her out. 2 guards moved instantly. They grabbed Arya roughly. She cried out, Please, Damien. But Damien turned away. Cold. Heartless. Without mercy. As the guards dragged Arya toward the exit, a deep voice thundered across the hall. Take your hands off her. The entire hall froze. Every wolf stopped breathing. Fear spread instantly. because everyone knew that voice. Slowly, the massive doors opened again. Heavy footsteps echoed.
1, 2,
3. Then he appeared. King Roman Blackwood, the most feared Alpha King alive. And the moment his eyes landed on Arya, his entire expression changed. The hall fell into absolute silence. No one dared move. No one dared breathe too loudly. King Roman Blackwood stood at the entrance like a storm wrapped in human form. His towering presence alone was enough to make even the strongest wolves lower their eyes. Power rolled off him in dangerous waves, pressing down on everyone in the room. The guards immediately released Arya. She collapsed onto the floor, struggling to steady her breathing. The pain from Damien's rejection still burned through her chest like fire. Roman's sharp gaze remained fixed on her. Something inside him had shifted the moment he saw her. Damien straightened himself quickly. "Father." Roman didn't answer. His eyes stayed on Arya. She looked broken. Tears stained her cheeks. Her body trembled. Yet even in that shattered state, something about her pulled at him with overwhelming force. Then he felt it. A violent tug deep within his soul. His wolf surged forward. "Mine." Roman froze. His wolf had never reacted like this before. Not once. But now it roared with terrifying certainty.
"Mine."
Roman's jaw tightened. Impossible. His heartbeat slowed, then quickened. His wolf refused to calm. The scent,
The bond.
the pull. There was no mistake. His gaze darkened. Aria Nightshade was his mate. The realization hit him like thunder. Shock flashed through his usually unreadable face. The room remained silent, but tension had become unbearable. Damien frowned. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He knew his father well enough to sense danger. "Father?" Roman finally moved. He walked toward Arya slowly, each step deliberate. Heavy. Controlled.
Terrifying.
No one dared interrupt him. When he reached her, he stopped. Arya slowly lifted her tear-filled eyes to meet his. The moment their gazes locked, a sharp pulse surged through both of them. Arya gasped. Her wolf, weak and wounded moments ago, suddenly stirred with violent energy. Warmth spread through her body. The unbearable pain from Damien's rejection eased slightly. She stared at Roman in confusion. What was happening? Why did being near him calm her broken wolf? Roman crouched before her. His voice, though low, carried across the hall. "Who hurt you?" The question was simple, but terrifying. Every wolf in the room stiffened. Damien stepped forward. "She was rejected. That is all." Roman slowly turned his head toward his son. The temperature in the room seemed to drop instantly. "That is all." Even Damien swallowed hard. Roman rose to his full height. His aura exploded. Several wolves nearly collapsed from pressure alone. Scarlet took a fearful step backward. Roman's voice became ice. "You shattered a mate bond in front of your entire pack." Damien clenched his jaw. "She is weak. She was never fit to stand beside me." Roman stared at him. Silence. Deadly silence. Then his voice thundered. "You fool." The hall shook with fear. Damien's face changed. No one had ever seen Roman this angry. Roman stepped toward Damien. Cold fury burned in his eyes. "You looked at strength and saw weakness." Another step. "You looked at loyalty and saw worthlessness." Another step. "You looked at destiny." His voice dropped into something far more dangerous. "And rejected it." Damien frowned. Confusion flashed in his face. "What are you talking about?" Roman's wolf growled inside him. "Claim her.
Now."
Protect her." Roman's fists tightened. Scarlet suddenly found courage. She stepped forward with forced confidence. "With all respect, Your Majesty, Arya was rejected. Damien has already chosen me." Roman turned toward her. One look. That was all. Scarlet's confidence vanished. Roman's voice was dangerously calm. "No one asked you to speak." She froze. Fear crawled across her face. Roman turned back toward Arya. She was still on the floor, confused and emotionally wrecked. Her breathing shook. Nothing made sense anymore. First, Damien shattered her heart. Now Roman was acting like,
No.
Impossible. Roman looked directly into her eyes. The bond pulsed again.
Stronger this time.
Arya gasped softly. Her wolf stirred.
Alive. Awake.
For the first time in years, Roman finally spoke the words that changed everything. Aria Nightshade.
Pause.
You are mine. The hall erupted.
Gasps. Shock.
Disbelief. Damien's eyes widened. Scarlet went pale. Arya stopped breathing. Roman's voice cut through the chaos. She is my mate. Silence crashed over the room. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Nobody could process what they had just heard. Damien stared at his father, as if he had gone mad.
No.
Roman's expression remained unreadable. Damien shook his head. No, that's impossible. His voice rose. She was my mate. Roman's eyes hardened.
No.
He paused, then delivered words that shattered Damien completely. She was never yours. Damien stood frozen. His face had lost all color. The confidence he carried minutes ago had vanished completely. He stared at his father, unable to process what he had just heard. That's impossible. His voice came out strained.
Angry. Shaken.
Roman did not flinch. Damien's breathing turned sharp. She was my mate. I felt the bond years ago. Roman's gaze remained cold. You felt a connection, but you never understood it. Damien's jaw tightened. I rejected her. Roman's voice cut through him. You rejected what was never yours to reject. The words landed like a brutal slap. The crowd exchanged uneasy glances. Whispers spread across the hall. Scarlet's mind raced. This was not supposed to happen. Everything had gone according to plan. Arya had been humiliated, rejected, destroyed.
She should have been gone by now.
Instead, King Roman had turned everything upside down.
No.
She wouldn't allow this. Scarlet stepped forward, forcing tears into her eyes. My king, surely this is a misunderstanding. Roman slowly turned toward her. She swallowed. Still, she pushed on. Damien and Arya shared a bond for years. Everyone knew it. She's just emotional right now. Perhaps the rejection confused things. Roman said nothing. That silence frightened her more than anger. Scarlet continued. She is weak. Broken. She cannot possibly be your Luna. Roman's expression darkened. Arya felt something inside her shift. Until now, she had been overwhelmed by pain and confusion. But hearing Scarlet speak like that sparked something else. Anger. Deep, burning anger. Roman noticed it. He glanced at Arya. Her trembling had lessened. Her eyes still held pain. But now there was fire.
Good.
Roman looked back at Scarlet. You speak too boldly for someone standing on thin ice. Scarlet's lips parted. Roman took a single step toward her. You insult my mate. Another step. You question my judgment. Another step. And somehow believe you are safe. Scarlet stumbled backward. Fear gripped her throat. Damien moved in front of her. Enough. Roman's gaze snapped to him. Damien forced himself to stand firm. This has gone too far. Roman raised an eyebrow. Too far. Damien's voice hardened. She may be your mate now, but this changes nothing. Roman stared at him. Damien continued. She is still weak. Arya flinched. Damien pointed at her. She has no wolf strength, no rank, no power. She would disgrace the Blackwood name. Silence followed. Then something unexpected happened. Elder Miriam stepped forward. The old woman's expression was grave. Alpha Damien. Her voice was steady. You should stop talking. Damien frowned. The elder rarely interfered. What? Miriam's gaze moved to Arya. For years, she had watched in silence.
Protected secrets.
Waited for the right moment. That moment had arrived. She inhaled slowly. There is something all of you need to know. The tension in the room sharpened. Arya looked up. Confusion filled her face. Roman studied Miriam carefully. He could tell from her expression that this was no small matter. Damien folded his arms. What secret? Miriam's voice carried through the hall. Aria Nightshade is not weak. Scarlet scoffed. That's ridiculous. Miriam ignored her. She was made to appear weak. The hall fell silent again. Damien frowned. Roman narrowed his eyes. Arya stared. Her heartbeat quickened. Miriam looked directly at Arya. Your mother begged me never to reveal the truth unless your life depended on it. Arya's breath caught. My mother? Miriam nodded. She feared this day would come. Arya's voice shook. What are you talking about? Miriam stepped closer. Her expression softened. Your wolf was sealed when you were a child. The world stopped. Arya's eyes widened. What? Damien frowned. Scarlett's face shifted. Roman went completely still. Miriam continued. You were born with extraordinary power. Too much power. Arya shook her head. No. Tears gathered in her eyes again. That's impossible. Miriam's voice remained calm. Your mother knew enemies would come for you if they discovered what you truly were. Arya's chest tightened. She could barely breathe. Roman listened carefully. His instincts had been right. There was something extraordinary about her. Something hidden. Miriam delivered the next revelation slowly. You are not ordinary, Arya.
Pause.
The hall was silent. Then Miriam spoke the words that shattered everything again. You carry royal blood. Gasps echoed across the room. Damien's eyes widened. Scarlet froze. Arya stared in complete shock. Miriam's voice turned solemn. You are the last surviving heir of the Moonborn bloodline. The room exploded into chaos. Whispers.
Shock.
Disbelief.
Fear.
Arya felt numb. This couldn't be real. It couldn't. Yet deep inside, her wolf stirred violently. As if awakening. As if recognizing the truth. Roman's gaze sharpened. Now everything made sense. The rare scent. The unusual bond. The immense energy buried inside her. Damien slowly turned toward Arya. His expression had changed. The realization was beginning to crush him. He had rejected someone extraordinary. Someone priceless. Someone powerful. Scarlet noticed the shift in his face. And panic gripped her heart. Everything was slipping away. Everything. Miriam looked at Arya one final time. But her next words chilled the entire hall. And if the seal breaks... She paused. Even Roman's full attention locked onto her. Miriam's voice dropped. The power inside Arya could change the fate of every pack. Silence. Then suddenly, Scarlett's expression changed. Cold. Dangerous. Murderous. Because she had reached one terrifying conclusion. Arya could no longer be allowed to live. Scarlett lowered her gaze to hide the panic flashing in her eyes. Her mind raced. Everything she had worked for was slipping through her fingers. Damien had chosen her. Arya had been humiliated. The future she wanted had been right in front of her. Now, everything was changing. Because of Arya. Because that pathetic girl she had mocked for years was suddenly becoming the center of everything. Scarlett's nails dug into her palms.
No.
She refused to lose. Not now. Not after coming this far. Across the hall, Arya still stood frozen. Her heart pounded violently. Every word Elder Miriam had spoken echoed inside her head. Sealed. Powerful. Royal bloodline. None of it made sense. Her mother had died when she was young. She barely remembered anything except warmth and a promise. Run if they find out. At the time, those words meant nothing. Now they returned with terrifying clarity. Arya's chest tightened. Memories flashed. Her mother's frightened face. The way she always looked over her shoulder. The strange symbols drawn around Arya's bed as a child. The nightmares. The burning pain she sometimes felt during full moons. It all suddenly connected. Tears blurred Arya's vision. My mother knew? Miriam nodded slowly. She knew. Arya shook her head, struggling to accept everything. Then why hide it from me? Miriam's expression softened. To keep you alive. Roman watched her closely.
Pain.
Shock. Confusion. He saw all of it. But beneath that chaos, he sensed something else.
Strength.
Ancient strength. Buried deep. Waiting. Damien stepped forward. His voice was sharp. You expect us to believe this without proof? Miriam turned to him. You have already ignored truth once tonight. Be careful not to repeat the mistake. Damien's jaw tightened. Roman remained silent. He trusted instinct. And everything inside him told him Miriam was telling the truth. Scarlet suddenly spoke. How convenient. All eyes turned to her. She forced a laugh. This sounds like a desperate lie to save her. Her tone grew sharper. She gets rejected and suddenly she's a secret princess? The crowd stirred uneasily. Some wolves seemed uncertain. Scarlet noticed and pressed harder. This is ridiculous. She pointed at Arya. She has spent years proving how weak she is. Arya clenched her fists. Scarlet smirked. She can barely defend herself. Another cruel smile. She's nothing special. The words struck something deep inside Arya.
Pain.
Humiliation.
Rage.
Years of suffering rose at once. Every insult. Every betrayal. Every wound Damien caused. Every lie Scarlet told. Something inside her cracked. Roman felt it immediately. His eyes sharpened.
The air changed.
A sudden gust swept through the hall. Candles flickered violently. Several wolves stiffened. They felt it too.
Power. Raw.
Ancient. Dangerous. Arya gasped. A strange heat spread through her veins. Her heartbeat thundered. Her skin tingled. Her wolf began thrashing inside her. Not weak. Not broken. Awakening. Arya stumbled. Roman moved instantly, catching her before she fell. The moment he touched her, energy exploded. A wave of force burst outward. The hall shook. Everyone staggered. Scarlet screamed. Damien barely held his ground. Roman tightened his hold on Arya. Her body burned with power. Her eyes squeezed shut. She cried out in pain. Miriam's voice rose urgently. The seal is weakening. Roman looked at her. What do I do? Miriam's expression was tense. Help her stay grounded. Arya trembled violently. She felt like she was being torn apart, burning from within. Roman held her firmly. Arya. His voice cut through the chaos. Her breathing hitched. She heard him. Somehow his voice reached her through the storm. Look at me. Her eyelids fluttered. Roman's voice softened. Focus on me. Slowly, Arya opened her eyes. And everyone gasped. Her eyes were glowing. Silver. Bright and terrifying. Roman stared. Beautiful. Powerful. Ancient. Arya's voice came out strained. I can't control it. Roman tightened his grip. You can. The energy surged again. The floor cracked beneath them. Fear spread across the crowd. Even Damien looked shaken. This power was beyond anything he had imagined. Scarlet stepped backward. Panic crawled up her spine.
No.
This wasn't possible.
Arya was supposed to be weak.
Useless.
Broken.
Not this. Never this. Roman never looked away from Arya. Listen to me. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. His voice became steady, commanding. You are stronger than this power. Arya's breathing slowed slightly. Roman continued. You are not weak. The energy softened. You are not broken. Her trembling lessened. You were born to survive this. Something inside Arya responded. Her wolf calmed. The chaos around her began to settle. The violent force weakened. Silence slowly returned. Arya collapsed against Roman's chest, breathing hard, exhausted, shaken, but alive. Roman held her carefully, protectively. No one missed it. No one missed the way the terrifying king softened around her. Damien saw it, and something ugly twisted inside him. Regret. Sharp and brutal. He had humiliated her, rejected her, thrown her away. And now his father held her like she was the most precious thing in existence. The weight of what he had done started sinking in. Scarlet noticed his expression. Her fear turned into fury. She had seen enough. If Arya remained alive, she would lose everything. Her position. Her future.
Damien. Power.
Everything. Her decision was instant. Arya had to die. Tonight. Silently, Scarlet slipped backward through the crowd. Roman noticed. His gaze flicked toward her. Too late. She was gone. Miriam's face darkened. She understood immediately. Scarlet wasn't retreating. She was planning something far worse. And danger was already moving in the shadows. Night had swallowed the Blackwood estate in darkness. The celebration was over. No music. No laughter. Only silence. Heavy, tense silence. Everything had changed in a single night. Inside one of the private chambers, Arya sat near the window wrapped in a thick blanket. Moonlight spilled across her face, but it did little to calm the storm inside her. Her hands still trembled. Every time she closed her eyes, memories returned. Damien's rejection, Scarlett's betrayal, the unbearable pain, then the impossible truth. She was no ordinary wolf, and somehow, King Roman Blackwood was her mate. Nothing felt real. A quiet knock came at the door. Arya turned. Roman entered. His presence filled the room instantly.
Strong.
Steady. Dangerously calm. Yet tonight there was something gentler in his expression. He approached slowly, careful not to overwhelm her. You should rest. Arya gave a weak laugh. Rest? She shook her head. My life exploded in one night. Roman stopped a few feet away.
Fair.
He studied her. Even wounded and exhausted, she carried strength he admired. Arya stared out the window again. After a long silence, she spoke. Why are you being kind to me? Roman frowned slightly. The question caught him off guard. Arya swallowed hard. You barely know me. Her voice dropped. So, why do you look at me like I matter? Roman went still. Then he answered honestly. Because you do. Arya's breath caught. Roman's gaze remained fixed on her. The moment I saw you, my wolf recognized you. His voice lowered. And I knew. Arya looked down. Pain flashed in her eyes. I don't know how to trust anymore. Roman's expression softened. That wound ran deeper than rejection. She had been betrayed by the people closest to her. Trust would not come easily. He respected that. You don't need to trust me tonight. Arya slowly looked at him. Roman continued. But I will protect you. Simple words. Yet they carried enormous weight. Arya searched his face. No lies. No manipulation. Just certainty. Before she could respond, a scream pierced the night. Roman's expression changed instantly. Cold.
Deadly.
Another scream followed. Then chaos erupted outside. Footsteps thundered through the estate. Shouts filled the air. Roman moved to the window. His eyes darkened. Rogue wolves.
Dozens of them.
They were inside the estate, attacking guards, killing anyone in their path. Arya's blood ran cold. What's happening? Roman's voice turned lethal. This isn't random. He knew immediately. This was targeted.
Planned.
Someone had sent them. The chamber door exploded inward. A guard stumbled inside, blood covering his body. My king. He collapsed. 3 rogue wolves burst into the room behind him. Massive. Savage. Bloodthirsty. Their eyes locked onto Arya. Roman stepped in front of her instantly. His aura exploded with murderous force. The rogues hesitated. Fear flashed across their faces. But they attacked anyway. Roman moved.
Fast.
Too fast to follow. The first wolf lunged. Roman caught him by the throat. A sickening crack echoed.
Dead.
The body dropped. The second attacked from the side. Roman spun. His fist slammed into the wolf's skull with brutal force. Bone shattered. The rogue crashed into the wall.
Dead.
The third shifted midair, claws aimed for Arya. Arya gasped. Roman's eyes turned feral. Pure fury. He caught the wolf before impact, then slammed him into the floor so hard the ground cracked. The room shook. The rogue coughed blood. Roman grabbed him by the throat. His voice became terrifyingly calm. Who sent you? The rogue laughed weakly. Roman tightened his grip. The wolf wheezed, then smirked. You're too late. Roman's gaze sharpened. The rogue spat blood. She wants the girl dead. Arya froze. Roman's voice dropped dangerously. Who? The rogue grinned. Scarlet Thorn. Silence. Arya stopped breathing.
No.
Roman's grip tightened. Rage unlike anything he had felt in years surged through him. The rogue whispered one last thing. She said if Arya lives, everything is lost. Roman snapped his neck instantly. Silence filled the room. Arya stared in horror. Her chest tightened. Scarlet. She really wanted her dead. Roman slowly turned. His face had become terrifying. Cold fury radiated from him. Arya had never seen anything like it. Roman walked toward her. His expression softened slightly when he reached her. "Are you hurt?" Arya shook her head.
No.
Roman exhaled. "Good. Very good. Because if she had been harmed, there would be no place in this world Scarlet could hide." Arya looked shaken. Her voice trembled. "She tried to kill me." Roman's jaw tightened. "Yes." Her eyes filled again. "She was my friend." Roman stared at her. Pain sat heavily in her voice. Not just fear. Heartbreak. Betrayal. Again. Roman lifted his hand.
Slowly. Carefully.
He brushed a strand of hair away from her face. The touch was unexpectedly gentle. Arya froze. Roman's voice dropped. She made a fatal mistake. Arya's breathing slowed. Roman's eyes hardened again. "She came for what is mine." The possessiveness in his voice sent a strange warmth through Arya's chest. Roman stepped back. His wolf burned with rage. There would be no mercy now. No hesitation. Scarlet had crossed a line she could never return from. Roman turned toward the shattered doorway. His voice thundered through the hall. "Find Scarlet Thorn." The entire estate seemed to freeze. His aura rolled outward.
Terrifying.
Murderous. Roman's next words sent chills through everyone. "Bring her to me."
Pause. Alive.
Because death would be too easy. The estate remained on high alert through the night. Guards patrolled every corridor. No one slept. Fear and tension hung in the air like smoke. Scarlet Thorn had vanished. That alone made everything worse. She knew the estate.
She knew the pack.
She knew where to hide. Inside Arya's chamber, silence settled once more. The attack was over, yet her pulse had not fully calmed. She sat on the edge of the bed, staring at nothing. Too much had happened. Her entire world had collapsed, then rebuilt into something unrecognizable. Roman stood near the fireplace, watching her quietly. He understood trauma.
Shock. Pain.
He knew forcing conversation would only push her away. So he waited. Minutes passed. Finally, Arya broke the silence. "Did you know?" Roman looked at her. "Know what?" She lifted tired eyes toward him. "That Damien would reject me." Roman's expression hardened.
No.
Arya swallowed. A bitter smile touched her lips. "I loved him." The words came out painfully. Roman said nothing. She continued. "I gave him everything." Tears gathered again. "My loyalty, my trust, my heart." Her voice cracked. "And he destroyed all of it like it meant nothing." Roman's jaw tightened. The thought alone stirred anger inside him. Arya laughed bitterly. "I feel stupid." Roman crossed the room slowly, then stopped in front of her. "You are not stupid." Arya looked away. Roman's voice remained calm. "You loved." She looked back at him. "That is not weakness." The sincerity in his voice caught her off guard. Roman continued. "The shame belongs to those who betrayed you." Silence. Arya studied him. He was unlike Damien. Damien had always ruled with pride and ego. Roman carried authority differently. Controlled. Steady. Dangerous, without needing to prove it. Arya spoke softly. "You really are nothing like him." Roman's mouth curved slightly. "Good." The small reaction surprised her. It was subtle, almost invisible, but it softened the intimidating king in a way she hadn't expected. For the first time that night, Arya felt something unfamiliar. Comfort. Then another thought hit her. Her expression shifted.
Damien.
Roman's eyes narrowed. "What about him?" Arya hesitated. "He looked different tonight." Roman stayed silent. She frowned. After Elder Miriam revealed the truth, he looked shocked. Her voice lowered, almost regretful. Roman's expression cooled. Damien's regret meant nothing to him. Too little. Too late. Arya noticed the shift. "Does that bother you?" Roman held her gaze. "Yes." The blunt honesty stunned her. Roman stepped closer. His voice dropped. "I do not care about Damien's regrets." Another step. But I do care if he thinks he can come near you again. Arya's breath caught. Roman's presence felt overwhelming this close. His gaze darkened. If he approaches you with intentions beyond apology.
He paused.
Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. That will become a problem. Warmth spread unexpectedly through Arya. Roman's protectiveness felt intense, possessive, yet strangely comforting. Their eyes locked. The air between them changed. Quiet, heavy,
Charged.
Arya's heartbeat quickened. Roman noticed. He noticed everything. The slight hitch in her breathing, the tension in her shoulders, the way her pulse raced. His wolf stirred.
Mate.
The bond between them pulsed. Slow, powerful, real. Arya felt it too. Something magnetic, pulling her toward him. Roman gently lifted her chin. The touch sent a wave of warmth through her body. Arya froze. Roman's voice turned softer. You do not need to carry everything alone anymore. Her heart stumbled. Nobody had ever said those words to her. Not like this. Not with such certainty. Arya searched his face. There was strength there. Protection. And something else. Something deeper. Before either could move, the chamber door burst open. Damien stormed inside. His breathing was uneven. His expression was wild.
Desperate.
Roman's hand dropped immediately. The warmth vanished. Damien's eyes locked onto Arya. Then Roman. Rage flashed across his face. What is this? Roman turned slowly. Coldness returned instantly. His voice became lethal. You entered without permission. Damien ignored him. His focus remained on Arya. He stepped forward.
Arya.
She stiffened. Pain flashed across her face. Damien noticed. Regret hit him hard. Seeing her recoil from him hurt more than he expected. His voice softened. We need to talk. Roman moved slightly, blocking part of Arya from view. Damien clenched his fists. This is between me and her. Roman's expression remained unreadable.
No.
Damien's patience snapped. Father. Roman's gaze sharpened. Damien's voice rose. She deserves to know the truth. Arya frowned. Truth? Damien looked directly at her. His voice shook slightly. Scarlet lied to me. Silence. Arya stared. Damien swallowed. She manipulated everything. Roman said nothing. Damien continued. She told me you were secretly meeting another male. Arya's eyes widened. What? Damien's face twisted with self-disgust. She fabricated evidence. Pain filled his voice now. She made me believe you betrayed me. Arya felt sick. Damien stepped closer.
Desperate.
She planned everything. His voice broke. The rejection. His jaw tightened. The ceremony. Pain flashed in his eyes. All of it. Arya stared at him in disbelief. Damien's voice softened. I was wrong. Silence stretched. Then he said the words Arya never expected to hear. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Roman's expression darkened. He knew what was coming. And he hated it. Damien looked at Arya like a drowning man reaching for air. Then he spoke. Arya.
Pause.
I want you back. Silence crashed through the room. Silence swallowed the room. Arya stared at Damien as though she had misheard him. Her heart pounded. Not from love. Not anymore. From disbelief. Damien looked desperate. Broken. Nothing like the arrogant alpha who had humiliated her before the entire pack. He stepped closer. Arya, please. Roman's aura darkened instantly. The air in the room became heavy. Dangerous. Damien ignored it. His eyes stayed locked on Arya. I know I hurt you. Arya let out a bitter laugh. Hurt. That word felt far too small. Damien swallowed hard. Pain flickered across his face. I was manipulated. Arya's expression hardened. So, that excuses everything? Damien froze. Arya rose slowly from the bed. Her legs felt shaky, but her voice came out stronger than she expected. You humiliated me. Damien opened his mouth. She cut him off. You rejected me in front of everyone. Her breathing sharpened. You watched me break. Tears gathered in her eyes. You looked into my face while I begged you. Her voice cracked. And you felt nothing. Damien looked crushed. Arya stepped closer now. For the first time, she wasn't shrinking. She wasn't pleading. She stood tall. And Damien felt the full weight of what he had done. You called me weak. Another step. You called me unworthy. Another step. You threw me away like I was nothing. Damien's voice broke. Arya.
She shook her head. No.
Silence stretched. Then Arya delivered the truth with painful clarity. You didn't lose me because Scarlet lied. Damien's face tightened. Arya's eyes burned with emotion. You lost me because you never trusted me. Silence. Heavy. Merciless. The words hit harder than any physical blow. Damien had no answer, because she was right.
Completely right.
Arya continued. If you truly loved me, tears rolled down her cheeks. One lie would never have destroyed everything. Damien's breathing turned ragged. Regret crushed him. Every memory played in his mind. Her loyalty, her kindness, the way she looked at him with complete trust. And he had destroyed all of it with his own hands. Roman watched silently. Pride stirred within him. Arya was no longer the broken woman dragged across that hall. She was rising. Damien reached for her, instinctively, desperately. But before his hand could touch her, Roman moved.
Fast.
He caught Damien's wrist. The room exploded with pressure. Damien froze. Roman's grip tightened. His voice came low.
Cold. Deadly.
Do not touch her. Damien glared. Anger flashed through his pain. She was mine first. The words had barely left his mouth before Roman's expression turned terrifying. His grip tightened harder. Damien winced. Roman stepped closer. His voice became pure ice. She was never yours. Damien clenched his jaw. Roman's eyes burned with dangerous intensity. You rejected her. His voice sharpened. You humiliated her. Another step. You shattered her in public. Damien's breathing grew tense. Roman's voice dropped. And now you stand here asking for what? The room felt suffocating. Damien's pride fought against his regret. I want a chance to fix this. Roman stared at him. Then something unexpected happened. Arya spoke. Quietly, but firmly. Damien. Both men turned toward her. Arya's face was calm now. Still wounded, but calm. She looked directly at Damien. No softness remained. Only truth. You had your chance. Damien went still. Arya's voice remained steady. I gave you years. Her gaze never wavered. My loyalty.
Pause.
My love.
Pause.
My heart. Damien's eyes filled with pain. Arya exhaled slowly. You destroyed all of it. Silence. Then she delivered the final blow. There is nothing left to fix. The word shattered him. Completely. Damien felt something inside him break. Real.
Permanent.
Arya was gone. He had lost her. For good. A strange laugh suddenly echoed through the chamber. Sharp. Unstable. Everyone turned. Scarlet stood in the doorway. Blood-stained part of her dress. Her hair was disheveled. Her eyes looked wild. Dangerous. Unhinged. She laughed again. Slowly. Then her gaze landed on Damien. Her expression twisted. You pathetic fool. Damien's face darkened. Scarlet stepped inside. Her voice dripped with venom. You really came begging? She looked disgusted. All this for her? Roman moved slightly in front of Arya. Scarlet's eyes snapped toward Arya. Pure hatred burned there. No mask. No sweetness. Nothing fake remained. Only madness. Scarlet smiled.
Cold.
Cruel. You always ruin everything. Arya's heartbeat quickened. Scarlet's voice rose. Everything was perfect. Tears mixed with fury on Scarlet's face. I planned everything. Damien's expression changed.
Shock.
Scarlet laughed bitterly. Yes. She pointed at Arya. I made you hate her. Damien froze. Scarlet's smile widened. I forged the evidence. She laughed again. I manipulated every single thing. Arya felt sick. Scarlet's eyes gleamed with obsession. Because I deserved everything she had. Damien stared at her in horror. Scarlett's voice shook with rage. You were supposed to choose me. She pointed at Roman. She was supposed to die tonight.
Silence.
Roman's expression became terrifyingly still. Scarlett's breathing turned uneven. Her madness deepened. Then her hand moved.
Fast.
Too fast. A blade flashed in the air, straight toward Arya. Damien's eyes widened. Roman moved instantly. But at that exact moment, something inside Arya exploded. Her power awakened. Time seemed to stop. The blade flew straight toward Arya's heart. Damien moved. Roman moved. But neither reached her in time. Then, everything changed. A violent force burst from Arya. Silver light exploded outward like a storm unleashed. The chamber shook. Walls cracked. Windows shattered. The blade stopped in midair. Frozen. Hovering inches from Arya. Everyone stared in disbelief. Scarlett's smile vanished. Damien froze. Roman's eyes sharpened. Arya stood completely still. But something about her had changed. Completely. The air around her pulsed with raw power. Ancient. Terrifying. Magnificent. Slowly, Arya lifted her head. Her eyes glowed bright silver. No fear. No weakness. No pain. Only power. Pure power. The blade dropped to the floor with a sharp clang. Scarlett stumbled backward. No. Arya's voice came out calm.
Too calm. Cold.
Sharp.
Deadly.
You wanted me dead. The words echoed unnaturally through the room. Scarlett's breathing quickened. Roman felt it. The seal was gone. Completely broken. Arya's true power had awakened. And it was beyond anything he had imagined. Scarlett shook her head. Panic consumed her. No, this isn't possible. Arya stepped forward. The floor beneath her cracked. Energy danced around her like silver fire. Her voice remained steady. You lied. Another step. You betrayed me. Another step. You tried to kill me. Scarlett stumbled again. Fear consumed her now. Real fear. The kind that strips away arrogance. Damien could barely breathe. The woman standing before him looked nothing like the one he rejected. This was not the broken girl who begged him. This was power. Royal power. Ancient power. And he had thrown her away. Regret hit him harder than ever. Scarlett suddenly screamed. Then lunged at Arya in desperation.
Wild.
Reckless. Broken. She never reached her. Arya raised one hand. Scarlett froze midair. As if invisible chains held her. Scarlett's eyes widened in terror. She struggled. Screamed. Nothing worked. Arya's silver eyes remained locked on her. Emotionless. Scarlett cried out. Let me go. Arya's expression did not change. Roman watched silently. He knew this moment mattered. This was Arya's battle.
Her choice.
Her power. Her justice. Scarlett's panic turned into pleading. Tears poured down her face. Arya, please. Her voice shook. I'm sorry. Arya stared at her. Silence. Scarlett sobbed. I was jealous. She cried harder. You had everything. Arya finally spoke.
No.
Scarlett froze. Arya's voice sharpened. I had trust.
Pause.
And you destroyed it. Scarlett trembled. Arya's gaze remained cold. You were my friend. Pain flickered in Arya's voice now. Deep pain. Real pain. You sat beside me.
Pause.
You smiled at me.
Pause.
You lied to me. Tears formed in Arya's eyes. But this time they did not weaken her. They strengthened her. Scarlett sobbed harder. Please don't kill me. Silence. Then Arya spoke. And every word landed with crushing force. You killed our friendship long before tonight. Scarlett broke down. Damien lowered his gaze. Shame burned inside him. Roman's eyes never left Arya. Pride filled him. She had changed. She had risen. The broken girl was gone. A queen stood in her place. Arya lowered her hand slightly. Scarlett dropped to her knees, crying, shaking. Destroyed. Arya stood over her, power radiating around her. Her silver eyes slowly returned to normal. The storm softened, but her strength remained. She turned toward Damien. He stiffened immediately. Arya looked at him. Once, that gaze had been full of love. Now it held calm finality. Damien felt his chest tighten. He already knew. Still, hearing it would break him. Aria's voice came quiet.
Steady.
Look at me, Damien. He obeyed. Pain filled his face. Arya held his gaze. You broke me in front of everyone. His breathing shook. Arya continued. You made me feel worthless. Tears formed in Damien's eyes. He hated himself. Aria's expression remained composed. Then she delivered the final truth. But losing you.
She paused.
Damien's heart pounded. Aria's voice turned powerful. Saved me. Silence. The words shattered him.
Completely.
Arya took a slow breath, then spoke one last time. I forgive you. Hope flickered briefly in Damien's eyes. Then she destroyed it. But I will never choose you again. The hope vanished.
Gone.
Forever. Damien stood broken.
Silent. Defeated.
Roman stepped forward. His presence filled the room once more. Arya turned toward him. Their eyes met. The bond between them pulsed stronger than ever. Roman saw it clearly now. Not just her power, her strength, her courage, her heart. And he admired all of it.
Deeply.
Roman slowly dropped to one knee before her. The most feared Alpha King alive.
Kneeling.
For her. Damien froze. Scarlet stared. Even the guards outside went silent. Roman lowered his head, then spoke with absolute certainty. My queen. He lifted his gaze to hers. My Luna. Aria's breath caught. Emotion flooded her chest.
Warmth.
Safety.
Peace.
Everything changed in that moment. Everything. The chamber remained silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the air felt still. King Roman Blackwood remained on one knee before Arya. The sight alone felt unreal. The most feared Alpha King in the realm, bowing before her. Not from duty. Not from politics.
From choice.
From devotion. Arya stared at him. Her heartbeat pounded in her chest. Only hours ago, she had entered the grand hall believing her future belonged to Damien. That version of her felt distant now, like someone she no longer recognized. She looked at Roman, this powerful, terrifying man who had protected her from the moment he arrived, who had seen her broken, and never once treated her as weak. Her voice came soft. Roman, he held her gaze.
Steady.
Patient. Arya swallowed. Emotions swirled inside her.
Pain.
Relief.
Fear. Hope.
Everything at once. You barely know me. Roman's expression softened. I know enough. Aria's breath caught. Roman rose slowly to his feet. He stood before her, tall and unwavering. His voice remained calm. I know your strength. He lifted a hand, gently touching her cheek. I know your heart. His thumb brushed away a tear. I know what you survived tonight. Arya felt emotion rise again. Roman's voice dropped lower. And I know one truth beyond doubt. Their bond pulsed.
Warm.
Steady. Real. Roman's gaze deepened. You are mine. Aria's heart raced. Not possessive in the cruel way Damien once behaved.
Different.
Protective.
Certain.
Safe. Roman continued. And if you choose me...
Pause.
His voice carried unusual vulnerability. I will spend the rest of my life proving you will never regret that choice. Silence. Arya stared at him. The words settled deep within her. For the first time tonight, she felt peace. Real peace. Then she made her choice. Slowly, Arya reached for Roman's hand. The moment her fingers touched his, warmth spread through both of them. The mate bond strengthened.
Bright.
Powerful.
Alive.
Arya looked into his eyes. A small smile touched her lips. Then she spoke. I choose you. The room seemed to stop. Roman froze. Even he had not expected the words to hit him this hard. Relief.
Joy.
Something fierce and protective surged through him. His wolf roared with satisfaction.
Mate.
Roman's hand tightened around hers. For the first time in years, the feared king smiled. A real smile. Small. Rare. But genuine. Arya felt warmth bloom in her chest. Roman leaned forward. His forehead touched hers gently. A quiet promise passed between them. No words needed. Just truth. Just certainty. Behind them, Damien lowered his head. Defeat settled over him completely. This was final. There would be no second chance. No redemption with Arya. He had destroyed that future with his own hands. Scarlet remained on the floor, shaking. Her plans had failed. Everything was gone.
Power.
Status.
Control. Gone.
Roman straightened. The warmth in his expression vanished as he turned toward Scarlet. Cold authority returned instantly. Scarlet's face turned pale. Roman's voice carried absolute finality. Scarlet Thorn. She trembled. Roman's gaze was merciless. You betrayed this pack.
Pause.
You manipulated its alpha.
Pause.
You attempted murder. Scarlet broke into tears. Please. Roman silenced her with one look. There will be judgment. Guards entered immediately. Scarlet sobbed as they dragged her away. Her screams echoed through the corridor. No one felt sympathy. Not after everything. Silence returned. Roman turned toward Damien. Father and son faced each other. The tension was suffocating. Damien looked exhausted. Broken. Roman's voice was cold. You failed as an alpha tonight. Damien's jaw tightened. Roman continued. You allowed emotion to blind judgment.
Pause.
You chose arrogance over truth.
Pause.
You hurt the one person who stood loyal to you. Every word cut deep. Damien accepted it, because all of it was true. Roman's final words landed hardest. Learn from this. Silence. Damien lowered his head. Then, without another word, he walked away.
Broken.
Alone. The sound of his footsteps faded. Arya watched him leave. No anger remained. No love either. Only closure. That chapter of her life was over. Roman stepped beside her. Arya exhaled slowly. The storm had passed. Roman looked at her. What now? Arya turned toward him, then toward the window. The first light of dawn stretched across the horizon. Night was ending. A new day was beginning. Arya smiled softly, this time with real strength, real confidence, real peace. She turned back to Roman and spoke words that carried the weight of everything she had become. No more running.
Pause.
No more fear. She lifted her chin. The power inside her felt calm, balanced, awakened. Her voice turned firm. I rise. Roman looked at her with unmistakable pride. Arya stepped forward. No longer broken. No longer rejected. No longer weak. She was powerful, chosen, unstoppable. The girl rejected before the entire pack had become the woman no one would ever dare underestimate again. And beside the most feared Alpha King alive, Aria Nightshade rose as the most powerful Luna in history. The Luna they rejected.
The queen they would all bow to.
If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell me in the comments whose side were you on, Damien, Roman, or Arya?